Why money never feels like enough. What Japanese wisdom understands about wealth. How much money is enough? Most people think they know the answer. Just a little more, a higher salary, a bigger house, a better car, a larger savings account. And then everything will feel secure. Everything will feel comfortable. Everything will finally feel enough. But something strange often happens. People reach the income they once dreamed about, and they still worry. They buy the things they wanted, and the satisfaction fades. They achieve financial success, yet somehow, they continue feeling behind. The finish line keeps moving, and enough never arrives. Why? Why do so many people spend their entire lives chasing financial security while never feeling financially secure? And why do some people with very little seem more content than those who have everything? Today, we explore a question that affects nearly everyone. Why does money so often fail to give us the peace we expect it to? Chapter 1. The Promise Money Makes. Money is powerful. It provides food.com, shelter.com, safety.com, opportunity.com. Without enough of it, life becomes difficult. This is important to acknowledge. The purpose of this video is not to romanticize poverty. Financial hardship creates real suffering. But once basic needs are met, something interesting begins to happen. The relationship between money and happiness starts to change. Many people continue believing that happiness exists one paycheck away, one promotion away, one investment away, one financial milestone away. Yet each time they arrive, the destination moves again. Chapter 2. The Moving Finish Line. Imagine earning twice as much as you did 10 years ago. Would you feel twice as satisfied? For many people, the answer is no, because human beings adapt surprisingly quickly. The new salary becomes normal. The new house becomes ordinary. The new lifestyle becomes expected. What once felt luxurious becomes average. Psychologists often call this hedonic adaptation. The tendency to return to a familiar level of satisfaction after positive changes. In simple terms, what excites us today becomes normal tomorrow. And once it becomes normal, the mind starts looking for the next upgrade, the next achievement, the next purchase, the next level. The finish line moves, again, and again, and again. Chapter 3. Why we attach money to self-worth. Money is often presented as a tool, a way to exchange value, a way to obtain necessities, a way to create opportunities. But for many people, money becomes something much larger. It becomes a measure of identity. Without realizing it, people begin attaching their self-worth to their income. A larger salary feels like proof of success. A financial setback feels like proof of failure. A growing bank account feels like progress. A shrinking one feels like personal inadequacy. The problem is that money was never designed to measure human value. A person's kindness cannot be measured in dollars. Their integrity cannot be measured in dollars. Their wisdom cannot be measured in dollars. Their ability to love cannot be measured in dollars. Yet modern culture often sends a different message. It quietly teaches people that wealth equals worth, that income equals importance, that success equals financial status. As a result, many people are not only chasing money, they are chasing validation. And when money becomes tied to identity, losing money begins to feel like losing part of yourself. This creates fear, fear of failure, fear of falling behind, fear of being seen as unsuccessful. The pursuit of money becomes emotional rather than practical, and that is where suffering often begins. Chapter 4. Why comparison makes it worse. Money is rarely about money alone. Often, it is about comparison. A person may feel successful until they meet someone wealthier. A family may feel comfortable until they see someone living in a larger home. A professional may feel accomplished until someone else gets promoted. Social media magnifies this endlessly. Every day we see luxury vacations, expensive cars, perfect homes, success stories. And without realizing it, we stop measuring our lives against our own needs. We begin measuring them against other people. This creates a dangerous illusion. No matter how much you have, someone always appears to have more. And because comparison never ends, satisfaction disappears with it. Chapter 5. Why richer societies are not always happier. If money alone created happiness, the wealthiest societies would be the happiest societies. Yet reality is often more complicated. Over the last century, many countries have become dramatically wealthier. People own more possessions than previous generations could have imagined. Technology has improved, convenience has increased, comfort has increased. Yet anxiety, loneliness, and dissatisfaction remain common. Why? Because once survival is no longer the primary concern, new problems emerge. People begin comparing lifestyles, comparing achievements, comparing status, comparing social visibility. The challenge shifts from survival to meaning. This is why some individuals who possess very little can appear surprisingly content, and why some individuals who possess everything can appear deeply unhappy. The human heart adapts quickly to comfort, but meaning requires something different. Purpose, connection, belonging, contribution, things that money can support but never fully replace. Chapter 6. The Japanese idea of knowing enough. Japanese culture contains an old idea, often expressed through the phrase, knowing what is enough. This does not mean rejecting ambition. It does not mean refusing success. It means understanding the difference between need and endless desire. Many traditional Japanese practices reflect this mindset. Simple homes, simple meals, simple rituals. Not because people lacked imagination, but because they understood something modern society often forgets. More is not always better. Sometimes more creates noise, more creates pressure, more creates anxiety, more creates new desires, and eventually, more begins taking away the very peace it promised to provide. Chapter 7. Hara-hachi-bu and the Wisdom of Limits. One of Japan's most famous concepts is hara-hachi-bu. Eat until you are 80% full. Not completely full, not stuffed, not excessive, just enough. At first glance, this seems to be a lesson about food, but it is also a lesson about life. Modern culture often encourages maximum consumption, maximum productivity, maximum achievement, maximum accumulation. Hara-hachi-bu suggests something different, that enough may actually be healthier than maximum, and that constantly seeking more may be one reason so many people feel exhausted. Chapter 8. The Story of the Fisherman. There is a famous story often told in different forms. A wealthy businessman visits a small fishing village. He sees a fisherman relaxing by the shore. The businessman asks why he is not fishing longer. The fisherman replies that he has already caught enough fish for the day. The businessman explains that if he worked harder, he could buy a larger boat, then more boats, then a fishing company, then become wealthy. The fisherman asks, and then what? The businessman smiles. Then you could retire, relax by the ocean, spend time with family, and enjoy life. The fisherman looks at him and says, "But I am already doing that." Whether the story is true does not matter. Its lesson remains powerful. Many people spend decades chasing a future life they never stop to examine. They assume more money automatically means a better life, yet they rarely ask what kind of life they actually want. Not every person wants the same destination. Not every person needs the same amount. And not every dream requires endless accumulation. Sometimes the greatest financial wisdom is not learning how to earn more. It is learning when enough has already arrived. Chapter 9. The Wealthiest People in History. Throughout history, some individuals accumulated unimaginable wealth, yet many remained anxious, restless, dissatisfied. The reason is simple. Money can solve many problems, but it cannot solve every problem. It cannot guarantee meaning. It cannot guarantee purpose. It cannot guarantee connection. It cannot guarantee peace. Many people spend years trying to solve emotional problems with financial solutions, only to discover that the two are not the same thing. Chapter 10. What actually creates contentment? Research and human experience repeatedly point towards similar sources of fulfillment, meaningful relationships. Health, purpose, community, a sense of contribution. These things rarely appear on luxury advertisements because they cannot easily be sold. Yet they remain among the strongest predictors of long-term well-being. Ironically, some of life's most valuable experiences cost very little. A conversation, a friendship, a walk at sunset, a meal shared with family, a peaceful morning. These moments often create the memories people treasure most. Chapter 11. The Freedom of Enough. Perhaps the goal is not becoming rich enough to stop wanting. Perhaps the goal is learning to stop wanting everything. There is a profound difference. One path has no end, the other creates freedom immediately. The moment a person understands what is enough for them, something changes. Comparison loses power. Consumerism loses power. Fear loses power, because their happiness is no longer controlled by an endless chase. They become free to enjoy what already exists. Final chapter. How much is enough? So how much money is enough? There is no universal answer. The number will be different for every person. But perhaps the more important question is not, how much money do I need? Perhaps it is, how much is enough for the life I truly want? Because if enough is never defined, the pursuit never ends. There will always be another promotion, another purchase, another investment, another goal, another level. Japanese wisdom reminds us that wealth is not simply the accumulation of possessions. True wealth is the ability to appreciate what you already have, to live without constant comparison, to enjoy the present moment, and to recognize that a meaningful life cannot be measured solely by numbers in a bank account, because the richest person is not always the one who has the most. Sometimes it is the one who finally understands what is enough. Thank you for watching.